Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Language Method Syed Alvira. Today we are going to talk about certain things which might be uncomfortable, but it will be comfortable after the video. When you will be listening to it completely, I hope that you feel at peace with yourself and at peace in your heart. It is for those people who have failed multiple times in competitive examination. It's not necessarily that it was UPSC or some civil service examination. Although my channel is dedicated to the civil services, but it's okay. Anyone, you might have failed NEET or any other examination, the SBI, PO, SSC, CGL, whatever. Or it's not even necessary that you have failed the examination. It can be any other thing. You might have been feeling that I'm such a failure in life, but that's okay. And I know with so much of awareness these days and with the coming of spirituality into the light and the social media and Instagram and so many people talking about so much stuff regarding mental health, so many people by now should be aware that failure is not something to be ashamed of, right? But still, what I feel, due to a lot of experiences and a lot of failures and a lot of things and feeling that comes up with it, there are different phases in life and you think differently at different times. So today I'm going to talk about what I feel is actually working, like you can work upon your brain. I feel, first of all, having a peaceful mind or coming up to terms with your feelings is very necessary before you start any other thing in life. So before you do anything else, it's very necessary that you come in harmony with what you feel and then let it go. So let's start that before talking down. Okay, so the first thing which I have written is decisions made with family do not need to be permanent. Example, I won't talk to this person ever, and this will not work when you live under the same roof. Yeah, this I have written after so many of havoc that I've created in life. Sometimes what happens is that your sibling tell you something and you get extremely annoyed with that, and you feel like you said like that to me, this was my limitation, this was my boundary, you crossed it, now I'm not going to talk to you. But what happens, your decision get broken as soon as you just say hello to them, or they talk to you and you have to reply them even if you don't want to. So you feel very bad about it, like I made a decision to myself, I made a promise to myself, I will not talk to this person again and blah blah, but you end up talking again somehow, right? So I think there is no decision that needs to be so hard and so strict that you start punishing yourself that I made this decision, I went against my own decision, so I'm a bad person, I'm a failure. You are not. Relax, you're not. That's okay. If you break your own decision somehow at some point in life, that's okay, especially if it's regarding a family member or a friend. When you feel like I will not talk to this person again, or I will not talk about this thing, I will not bring about this topic. Let's just say you talk about your ex constantly and then you realize I will not talk about him or her, and then you feel like, oh shit, I ended up talking about him again. That's okay. You're a human and certain feelings come again and again. That's okay. You make mistake. It's not necessary that you will not make it ever in your life. Think about all the 365 days of the year. If you have gone right for the 360 days and only, I'm going to give you an example, 5 days you have gone wrong, that's okay. What's the big deal? Even if, let's say, the otherwise, you have gone right 5 days and 360 days were gone wrong, that's okay too. Because there is no such permanent decision. When you think of this will happen and it will be like this and it's a permanent decision, who you're fooling? Who? There is nothing permanent in life. So when you have come up with certain decision, know this thing, that maybe due to some circumstances, that decision might not work for that moment, and that's okay. Are you feeling peaceful now? So, second thing, shed ego. Yeah, shed ego means we as human, we all are. First, accept that thing. We all at some point think, how that person said like that to me. She had no right to say it like this to me. She had no right to say it like that to me. That's okay. People say so many things that we are not. See, people say so many stuff. Like I've written here, she called me a bitch, I will break her teeth. Yeah, we say it to ourselves, right? But sometimes staying silent can stop havoc in life. Oh, yes, it can. Let's just say that somebody said something to you and you started a fight with them. Your whole day can be ruined. Maybe your whole week can be ruined because of that. You never know what a fight can bring. It may be so intense that some people can actually end up having a maybe having their nose broken or like that. So I don't think that it's such a good idea to fight over some petty matters, that somebody called me this way, now I will show her who I am. You don't need to show anyone who you are. You really do not need to show anyone who you are. People do not care, and it doesn't matter. It should not matter to you. They said it, they said it. I know it feels bad, and sometimes it really feels too bad. Sometimes it happens, you feel like, you know what, last time I let it go, this time I won't let it go. This time I will show you, you can't say like that to me. It has happened with me, so I'm saying like that. So this happens sometimes, but that's okay. You have to know that it's okay. Even if you are president, it's okay. People say so many things, and staying silent is the best thing. Honestly, it's the best thing. If you do not want to listen what they're saying, go away from that place. Go shut the door of your room. And if you are not in your room, maybe, for some people who are living with the roommates, maybe go out. But be safe. Yeah, being safe is the important thing, right? So yeah, stay silent, because it can actually, staying silent is actually very diplomatic. So you're not a fool. Do not think when you are silent that I'm being defeated. Do not let the feelings of being defeated come to your head, because you're not. Do not let this happen to you. You know you're not a fool when you're silent. You're not a fool when you do not reply. You're actually a smart person when you do not reply. Do you know that? You're a diplomatic smart person when you do not reply anyone. Because that saves your time, your energy. Any big fight, you can avoid that thing, and that's okay. It's not just you are just saving your time and energy, you're also not letting people know what you are going to do next, because when we fight sometimes we end up saying so many things that we should not tell. So that is why I'm telling you that shed your ego. If somebody said something to you that you are not, that's okay. That should not matter to you. All right. So the third thing is, it is what it is. Now, some of you might be thinking what I'm saying does not relate to UPSC or NEET or anything. Actually, it does. It relates to anyone, because in the end, we all are humans. Whether we are trying to become president, or we are trying to be a waiter or waitress, or we are trying to be actress, or we are trying to be civil servants, we all are humans. We all are. And our brain, we have to calm down that first. It all starts from here. And if you do not know how to control yourself, how will you move forward? So that is why it is necessary. And I feel that it was necessary for people to know these things. So I end up making a video. And believe me, I just wrote all these things. After shutting my door, it is closed. Nobody is there. And I thought about so many things without crying, I must add, because I feel like crying does not help so much. But if you want to cry, do cry. A little bit, okay. That's also okay. So yeah, it is what it is. You know, I personally I did this thing a lot. Because I'm a religious person, like I believe a lot in God and in Allah, and I'm a Muslim, and I have to, you know, have faith that we are taught, like whatever is happening in your life, this is Allah's decree. He's doing, and He has better knowledge than you, so you do not know what's His plan. And so I would always scream and shout in my prayers, or I would tell that Allah, whatever you're doing is not right. This is not okay. And you should not always be doing unfair things to me, because I would literally, I complain to him and I say, among all my sisters, I work the hardest, and you have made my life hell, a living hell, and they all get things very smoothly. Why I have to face these troubles? You know what? No matter how many times you shout like this, no matter how much you just, you know, tell these things to your friends or your family members to whom you are in good terms with, nothing will change. What has happened. हो गया जो होना था. So if you think about it so much, that will not change what has happened. Okay? So blaming God for that thing will not change anything. So God did what He had to do. He did it. Now you do what's in your hand, and please do not do anything wrong to anyone and to yourself, please. Okay, that will not change anything. So, you know what? We can only do what's in our hand. So relax, relax. Sit, cry if you want to, ask yourself, but do not give up. Leaving everything to God and thinking, okay, fine, it was God's decree, I'm not doing anything, will not work either. Blaming everything to God will not work either. But what you can do is what's in your hand, what's your end goal. If that pathway did not work, is there any other way you can do it? If not, maybe you may change your goal. If it's taking too much from you, if you're thinking that this thing is not going along, that's okay. Or maybe don't change your goal, maybe make two goals, maybe. But I'm saying that you cannot think that why this thing happened. You will never get the answer of why did thing happen. uh, you never know. Nobody knows, actually, not even your friend, not your grandmother, nobody knows. So certain things just happen. You know, there are some small children who get raped, and how bad it is. But what can you do? It has happened. The most you can do it, you can get the, you know, the criminal get punished. That's it. You cannot go into the past and stop things happening. Do you have the time machine? I do not have. So I don't think that will work, to think so much why something happened. You do what's in your hand, and you do it at the best. So when you know that you have done what you could do, be at peace at yourself, forgive yourself, and forgive people around you. No, it was not somebody's fault. It's not. Believe me. Sometimes things happen, sometimes things do not happen. There is no fault of anyone or anything, you know. All right. I think we extended the third point so much. Now, coming to the fourth point. Because I'm a woman, I have written from a perspective of a woman. So if you are a man listening to it, just switch it. So yeah, the fourth point is you're not Cinderella. So no. So stop thinking and stop acting like it. And no, no one is that perfect prince either. You know, that handsome prince who come to save your life when you're living a life of Cinderella, and all of a sudden God opens the door of success to you. I know the motivators show this thing, that you are at your lowest point. At this point, your life is gonna change. Something miraculously good thing will happen to you, and God will open the doors for you. Listen to me, honey. This thing does not happen. That sounds so good in motivation speeches, but it does not happen. It may happen. I'm not saying that 100, I'm not demoting anyone, but I'm saying that it may or may not. Life is a possibility of so many things. It may and it may not. Okay? So it might be that while I say here that you're not Cinderella, and someone actually end up, in the story of Cinderella, who knows? So as I say, life is a possibility. Have you read the chapter probability about the dices and the probability? When you say that total number of probability of a dice is 6, and the number of chances are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, right? So so it could be anything, and you could be having any chance in that probability. It can be a yes or no or in between. Sometimes things are too negative, sometimes they are too positive, and sometimes they are in between. And there is nothing like perfect. In between, you never know, you know. And when you take a wrong decision, please do not blame yourself. It's okay. Believe me, those who have taken a right decision, a seemingly right decision, is not necessary that they were completely aware of it. Have you heard Shah Rukh Khan saying that when he was signing those 6 films or 5 films, initially he did not know that it will work so much for him? Who knows? How could he know it will work so much? Nobody knows. You do what you have to do. Whether it will work or not, nobody on this planet know. Do not go to any astrologer kindly, please. He cannot tell you what's going to happen. He cannot. Don't. So yeah, no prince come to your life to save you. So don't be sitting in your room dramatically crying, oh, my life is so done. And do not expect, I'm saying that you will be very sad when you feel like, oh, I expected God to open the door after I have cried so much. No, God will not. Maybe he will, but maybe he will not. So do not think that after I have suffered so much, now God will have mercy on me. Sometimes it does not happen that way, and that's okay too. Please come in peace with that thing. What happened has happened. You do what you can. Yeah, fifth point is, people cannot solve your problems. So they can only assure you or motivate you. Also, what they say is their thoughts. That does not define what you're gonna do or who you are. Yeah, that's the point. This is the first time I failed another examination recently, and I have not called any one of my friend. Any single friend I have not called. Before that, I have called whenever I failed or something and I cried. I talked to my friends and they would talk to me and we would try to figure out, and kind of, I did not call anyone. This time I decided to whatever I'm feeling, it's on me. None of my friend could change my life, nor I could change theirs. We can only motivate each other. We can only even chide each other when we are into like, okay, oh, you have done this thing wrong, you should not have done. So we chide each other sometimes, but that does not change anything. you know they cannot, they may help you, like, up to a certain extent, but know this thing, that they cannot change your life for the better, nor they can make your life hell unless you let them. Mm-hmm. Understand that you should be very careful when you make friends. Do not let anyone ruin your life, okay? I am also saying that I would advise anyone to not talk to people so much, even if somebody is your best friend. Reason, because sometimes what happens is that people try to figure out what has gone wrong, right? So in that moment, consciously or unconsciously, or like say subconsciously, people criticize you. Like like if you tell your friend, oh sorry, my battery is going. That's okay. So if you tell your friends that, you know I've done this thing wrong, that thing happened with me, maybe you're already upset, and your friends say, yeah, that was your fault, you shouldn't have done this, you always end up doing that, you are at fault at this point, and you're already feeling very weak inside, and upon that somebody adds to that layer, you know oh, and you start losing confidence. Was I so wrong? Am I really that pathetic person? It was my fault, it was all my fault. What happens when you start losing certain kind of confidence? You start doubting yourself. Believe me, even your friend might have done so many mistakes. They have done. Whenever somebody advises you, they are advising on an ideal stage. from an ideal state, right? So ideally what happens, like I remember, I will not name, one of my friend once told me, you cannot call anyone a bitch. It's not a right thing. You do not have any right to call anyone a bitch. And I was like, but she literally called me a prostitute. Can't I even call her a bitch? And she was like, no, no, let her. You don't do anything. Then I felt bad about myself, really. Even when I was right, I felt bad about myself. Like, oh, I'm such a pathetic person. I'm bad. And I've not even said that to that person's face. I just said it when we both were alone, like, what a bitch she is, like that. So it's very easy to advise anyone. And I remember after 2 years, same thing happened to her. And she said that I called her this, I called her that, and I said this, and I said that. At that time, I said, okay. But I did not tell my friend that you do not say that. I do not judge her. I just, I had listened to her. Because you know what? When somebody is already upset, you cannot make them more upset. So I just listened. So when I hung up the call and I think over it, that you know what? I think it was very easy for her to lecture me over that thing. She's not bad. I'm not judging her. But it's not easy when you imply in your own life. Lecturing is very easy. That's why I'm saying that do not call your friends each time you are in trouble. Figure out for yourself. Although, if you need help, do extend your hand and ask for help to anyone you feel reliable, but not necessarily every time. Reason being, I feel that people subconsciously increase your problem even more because they criticize you. Criticizing lowers your confidence, and you come at this point where you do not know what to do anymore. So that's why I'm saying do not talk so much to people. They will only lower your confidence. Okay. And also do not compare your life to what you see on social media. This life, what I'm living here, might be good for so many people. I don't know. Maybe not for me. So it's like that. But if you talk to anyone, then what if people say you are living a pathetic life? And you start feeling bad about yourself. So that's what I'm saying. No more chit chat. Now, next thing is no matter what, your guardians and parents will always be nagging and be dissatisfied. Just let them. You cannot force them into thinking certain thing. Everyone is free to think, and we all think differently based on our experiences and how much control we have on our brain. Yes, no matter what, it's not just about parents. Say somebody is living with their spouse, you cannot force them into thinking something. Maybe you were expecting a different answer and they answered you differently. So so you should not be taking this thing up to your heart, like, that person said like that to me. And that person, we are so, especially the ones who are like me, who are giving the competitive examination, or who are living with their parents, we are so much, we are dying to make our parents proud. And each time we see that we are working for them, and they say, and they're like, you failed because you did not work hard. You never worked hard. You did not study for 20 hours in a day. You did not study for 14 hours in a day. Honey, you can't do that for one entire year. It's impossible to study like that 365 days. You know, a person goes through a lot of hormonal changes, especially if you're a woman. There are different times of the month when you are feeling so high. Then there are times when you feel so low. Figure out for yourself what works for you. Okay? So, and yes, when we ignore our feelings and hormones and how our body works, you are doing a mistake in that thing. Because you have to know that your emotion should come along with what you do. I mean, be aware of yourself, what you are feeling. So if you are feeling bad, take 15 minutes, close your book, know what you are feeling, come in terms with yourself, be in harmony with yourself, and then start again. Yeah, if you need to take that minute of break, do take it. And no, you are not a failure for that thing. We all feel bad, no matter what. No matter what, you will not be always happy. There will be times you will be feeling low, or maybe continuously for a week. Who knows? Is it a hard and fast rule that you always should be feeling very high? You can't unless you're on drugs. I don't do that. So my last point is there's nothing like perfect. Even the definition of perfect itself varies from person to person. and it's very imperfect. Yeah, so that's it. इससे ज़्यादा हम ज्ञान नहीं पेलेंगे. Okay, I've taken I think 25 minutes over here, but I hope that helps people, and it's okay even if it doesn't help people, because, well, my intention was to help, but it may and it may not. So yeah, there is nothing like perfect. So if you feel that this is ideal, while I was writing in my diary what I felt, I was feeling, hey, wait a minute, I'm in my room sitting on my desk writing what I feel. There are so many people who might have, who might do not even have a room of their own, who might not have stationery. There are people who are living on the road. For them, my life is very perfect. At the same moment, I'm feeling my life is destroyed because I failed an exam. So the definition of perfection is very different for everyone. Who are living a lower level of life than yours, for them your life is perfect. Now you see Mr. President in the White House and you feel that life is perfect. We all have different definitions, honey, and there's nothing like a perfect. We all have imperfect definition of perfect. What may work for me may not work for you. What work for you may not work for me. Know the thing that life is an endless possibility, and the sooner you accept, the better. Accept peacefully. Don't accept crying and with all the tears. Accept what has happened. Do stick to one goal in your life. Do not go into multiple directions. Do not listen to so many people. When you listen to so many people, you try to go in different direction and none of them you can achieve. Go at one point at one time. When one goal is achieved, then go for the other one. Okay? And do take care of yourself. Do come in peace with yourself, in harmony with yourself, and go with the symphony of life. Okay? I hope that helps. And for now, that's it. Bye bye. Take care.